Attaining Christ consciousness. I have been with this planet for a very long time. I have seen everything there is to see. I have seen every aspect of the lower state of consciousness that I call the death consciousness. If you desire to be my true disciple, you must realize that the central, in a way the only key to discipleship under me is that you must overcome the death consciousness. This is a twofold process. You must overcome the lower consciousness, and at the same time you must unite with the higher consciousness. My beloved Paul said, "I die daily." He meant that a part of his human mind, his death consciousness, died every day. Paul also said that you must put off the old human and put on the new human. He meant that you must put off the death consciousness and put on the Christ consciousness. This is a process that will take time, and it must happen gradually. If you were to be stripped of the death consciousness all at once, your soul would be thrown into an identity crisis. You would no longer know who you were. You would lose all sense of continuity and identity. You would literally go insane. This has in fact happened to people who have discovered the spiritual path and attempted to force the process of spiritual growth. They attempted to take heaven by force, and in so doing, they invoked so much light from above that they were not able to hold that light. Instead of raising them up, the light damaged their sense of identity. The very essence of my message is to point out to you that there is an alternative to the way of life practiced by most people on this planet. Some religious people claim that everything is subject to the will of God, and therefore there is nothing you can do to change who you are. God created you, and that is it. Some scientific authorities claim that your personality, your identity, is the product of environmental and hereditary factors over which you have no control. Both of these belief systems are incomplete. Obviously, some of the characteristics of this universe are the products of the will of God. Therefore, your personality and individuality are to some degree affected by the will of God. Your personality and individuality are also affected by your heritage and the environment in which you grew up. However, the essential point that I'm trying to get across is that you do not have to live the rest of your life as a slave of circumstances beyond your control. You have the potential to take control over your destiny and rebuild your identity. You have the potential, and it is a potential given to you by God Himself, to reshape your destiny, to change your psychology, and to remake your sense of identity in the image and likeness of God. In the beginning, God created you in His own image and likeness. In the time between that beginning, which took place a very long time ago, and the present hour, you have created a human being that no longer resembles the image and likeness of God. Yet you have the potential to begin a gradual process whereby you can remake yourself in the image and likeness of your God. In the process of so doing, you can shape your identity in ways that God never imagined, but that are, nevertheless, in perfect accord with the will of God. In the process of so doing, you can shape your identity in ways that God never imagined, but that are, nevertheless, in perfect accord with the will of God. This process of spiritual growth has always been available to human beings Throughout the ages, it has been known in every culture and civilization. It has been presented in many different versions in an attempt to appeal to various groups of people. A universal name for this process is the spiritual path. Let nothing come between you and God. It is completely and utterly amazing to me that someone can study my teachings, even the incomplete teachings found in the New Testament, and conclude that the only road to salvation goes through an outer organization and an outer doctrine. How can anyone fail to see that I did not come to create a totalitarian organization or to bring forth a closed and closed-minded outer doctrine? Why do you think I repeatedly rebuked the religious authorities of my time? Why do you think these religious authorities considered me to be such a grave threat that they repeatedly plotted to kill my body and eventually succeeded? The authorities of the Jewish religion wanted to get rid of me because I was the ultimate threat to their power structure. I rebuke those who set themselves up as the only doorway between human beings and God. They created a belief system which stated that no human being could get to God without going through the Orthodox religion and its hierarchy of human beings. They created a belief system which stated that unless a person believed in the outer doctrines, that person would not be saved. I came to overthrow that closed system. I came to denounce the people who had set themselves up as the link between God and the people. I came to overthrow the power structures and to expose the power plays. I came to restore the key of knowledge which these people had taken away in an attempt to control the population. The only doorway to God. I did not come to bring peace to Israel. I came to bring a sword that would cut through the veils of illusion that surrounded the minds of the people. I came to cut the people free from the chains by which they had been bound by the representatives of the religion that was originally meant to set people free from all oppression. I, Jesus, was the ultimate spiritual revolutionary, and today I am still the ultimate spiritual revolutionary. I am here right now, and through these teachings, I am telling you that you do not need to accept any human organization or person as the doorway to God. There's only one doorway to God, and it is a state of consciousness which I came to exemplify and demonstrate, namely the Christ consciousness. When I said I am the open door, which no human can shut, I did not refer to a person named Jesus. I referred to the universal state of consciousness, the universal Christ mind, which I had united with to such a degree that I could truly say, I and my Father are one. Yet I also said I can of my own self can do nothing. It is the Father within me who is doing the work. What I meant was that it is the universal Christ consciousness within me that is the only true doer. Many people thought that I was the new king of Israel and that I would lead the Israelites in a violent revolt against the Roman oppression. I did not take up arms against the Romans, yet I declared many times that I came to set the people free. If I did not come to set the people of Israel free from the Romans, who do you think I considered to be the real oppressors of the people? I wanted to deliver them from the very people, the serpents in their midst, who had occupied the place between the people and their God. The saying, "Let no man take thy crown," refers to the fact that you must never let any human being or organization take away the crown of your personal, direct, inner contact with God. You were created in the image and likeness of God. You have the capacity of consciousness to commune directly with God inside your heart. When God said, "You shall have no other gods before me," what do you think he truly meant? Yes, he did mean that you shouldn't worship an outer idol. Yet why shouldn't you worship an outer idol? Because if you identify an outer form as God, then you will never get to know the true God who is beyond all form. God is beyond all form and all concepts created by human beings. You simply cannot experience God with your physical senses, and you cannot fathom God from the state of mind that I have called the death consciousness. However, you can experience God directly by opening your heart to a mystical experience through which God can reveal his being, his essence, to you. This ability to commune directly with God is the most precious gift that any human being has ever received. That gift is also your supreme personal responsibility. You must never allow anything or anyone in this world to take that gift away from you. You must never allow anything in this world to stand between you and your direct inner communion with God. Your spiritual potential. So many people think that I was so far above them that they could not possibly learn from my example or follow in my footsteps. Such an intense cult of idolatry has been built around Jesus Christ that it has almost obliterated my true message. I fully understand why I came to earth 2,000 years ago. I came to demonstrate that it is possible for any human being to attain direct, inner contact with God, to attain true gnosis. That was the essence of my mission. One might even say that it was the only message that I came to get across. I came to demonstrate that the road to God does not go through anything outside yourself. The road to God is an inner path whereby you contact God directly in your heart. Consider what has happened to that message over these past 2,000 years. Where in the current scriptures can you find that message? Do you think I did not preach my message clearly and openly? Do you think that I somehow wanted to hide that message from humankind or from posterity? Not so. I, Jesus, wanted that message to be shouted from the housetops, and that is what I told my disciples to do. What has happened to that message over the past 2,000 years? It has been replaced by a false message. The essence of the false message is that Jesus Christ, because he was the Son of God, nay, because he was the only Son of God, was so far above and beyond normal human beings that no one could possibly follow in his footsteps. The cult of idolatry built around me is so intense that most of the people who call themselves Christians would not even dare to consider the true meaning of my words. He that believes on me, the works that I do, shall he do also. So many people think that following in my footsteps and attaining a higher state of consciousness, yes, a state of Christ consciousness, is blasphemy. The greatest tragedy. I must tell you very directly and openly that, from my personal viewpoint, this is such a tragedy that I can hardly find words to describe it. The message that I gave my life to bring forth, through both word and example, has been completely eclipsed by a false message. Instead of being the living example for all to follow, I have been elevated to an idol that no one dare follow, lest they be accused of blasphemy. Over these past 2,000 years, so many Christians have danced around this golden calf, this false image of me. I came to set people free. The false image of me, as the exception rather than the example, helps imprison people even more than they were before I came. Therefore, from an outer point of view, one might say that my coming has had the opposite effect of what was intended. Instead of being an instrument for setting people free, I have become a tool for imprisoning them in a mental prison that is more secure than any physical prison could be. After all, if you truly want to enslave people, chains of iron are not the most efficient way, because people will know that they are enslaved and they will long for freedom. It is far more efficient to enslave people by subtle means so that they do not even realize that they are trapped. I am an unlimited cosmic being. I am called the Prince of Peace, and I am indeed at peace in the unconditional love of God. Yet even I find it difficult to understand how human beings can continue to accept such incredible lies about me. How can it be that after 2,000 years, so few people have dared to look beyond the false image? How can it be that not even the little children have looked at the emperor's new clothes and said, "But the emperor has nothing on"? When will those who call themselves Christians and who sincerely believe that they are following me realize that they must look beyond the false image? When will you, my beloved heart, realize that you personally must dare to look beyond that image, go deeply within your heart, and ask me to reveal to you the true being of Jesus Christ? Ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall find. Have the courage to look beyond an outer doctrine full of dead men's bones. Have the courage to look for the real Jesus Christ. I promise you that if you will open your mind and look for me in the stillness of your heart, you will indeed find me. I have been with you always, and I am with you today. I am simply waiting for you to make the choice to recognize my presence within you. The seed of my word. If you still doubt that it is truly I, Jesus, who is speaking to you through this book, then take a look at the Bible itself. The Bible states very clearly that I taught the masses in parables, but when we were alone, I expounded all things to my disciples. This simple statement, which those who have falsified my teachings overlooked and forgot to take out of the Bible, is enough to tell those with an open mind that I taught on two different levels. I had outer teachings designed for the level of consciousness shared by the majority of the population. Then I had inner teachings designed for the consciousness of those who were further along on the spiritual path and who were therefore open to higher and more direct teachings. When I appeared 2,000 years ago, only a few people were able to grasp my inner teachings in their purest form. That is why I use parables to explain those teachings to the masses. Yet my parables, many of which are not found in today's scriptures, still communicated my message. Today, the situation has changed dramatically. Even though my outer teachings have been distorted, the living word that I brought to this planet was planted as a seed in the collective consciousness of humankind. Oh yes, the powers that be stomped that seed deep underground so that it could no longer be seen. Yet that very act drove the seed of my word deep into the fertile ground where it could sprout in peace. The seed of my living word has been sprouting for 2,000 years. It is now strong and it is ready to burst through the soil and blossom in your consciousness. Today, millions of people are prepared at inner levels to openly understand and accept my true teachings. If you read the New Testament, you will see that I repeatedly said, "Let those who have ears hear." Well, today many more people have ears to hear my true teachings. Learn from Paul's example. I am fully aware that some people will reject the teachings I am bringing forth in this book. They will come up with numerous sophisticated reasons why these teachings could not possibly be true and why they could not possibly come from the real Jesus Christ. Yet I must tell you that if you have read this book up until this point, you belong to the large group of people who are ready to accept my inner teachings. If you were not open to my true teachings, you simply would not be able to read this book. You might feel a number of mixed emotions about the teachings I am bringing forth in this book. You might even feel the hostility that Paul expressed towards my followers. Yet, like Paul, you are one of my flock. Therefore, you have the potential to go through the same turnaround that Paul experienced. Some people think that I chose Paul, and in some ways I did because I knew that Paul was ready at inner levels. Nevertheless, I could do nothing against Paul's free will. Yes, I appeared to him, but he still had to choose how he would react to my appearance. He could easily have rejected my appearance as an illusion or even as the work of the devil. To turn away from his former ways and to face the reality of my presence, Paul had to make a choice. Therefore, in reality, I did not choose Paul. Paul chose me. In a sense, I have chosen you because I know that you are ready at inner levels. Yet you must still come to a conscious recognition of that readiness, and you must still make your own decision as to how you will respond to my call. Therefore, I cannot choose you, you must choose me. I love my Father in heaven, and I respect his law of free will. I cannot and I will not make the choice for you. However, I am making known to you that I, Jesus Christ, have appeared to you through the teachings in this book. I am saying to you, why are you persecuting me? It is hard for you to kick against the pricks. You must choose whom you will serve, the real living Jesus or the idol, the golden calf that was created by human beings in an attempt to prevent you from entering our Father's kingdom. Choose wisely. Choose to be, and do not, like Hamlet, choose not to be. Hamlet chose not to be and paid with his life. If you choose not to be, you might pay with your soul. I am calling you home. I am the Good Shepherd, and I am calling my flock to come home to my true teachings and to follow my example into our Father's kingdom. I have left the 99 sheep to look for the sheep that has gone astray. Amazingly, I am finding many sheep who are lost yet who do not see that they are lost. The reason is that they think they belong to the only true church of Jesus Christ and that they follow the only true doctrine of Jesus Christ. There is a way that seems right to a human, yet the end thereof is the way of death. I am the way, the truth, and the life. To get to our Father's kingdom, you must follow the only possible way, and that way goes through the Christ consciousness that I am. The mortal human being, the person caught in a lower state of consciousness, can never inherit our Father's kingdom. No matter what outer church you belong to or what outer doctrine you follow, you can inherit our Father's kingdom only by rising above the mortal state of consciousness and putting on the new human, drinking the new wine of my Christ consciousness. This is my blood. Drink all of it. I am here to show you the way home. Allow me to take you by the hand, and in the following discourses, I will show you how to rise above the many false concepts about me and about God that human beings have created out of ignorance, unbelief, and impure intentions. I am the Good Shepherd, and I know the way home. I am the open door that leads to our Father's kingdom. I have demonstrated the path that all must follow. Dare to walk in my footsteps.